Hey Severance fans, we are diving into the wild ride that is Season 2, Episode 2, entitled Goodbye, Mrs. Selvig. And oh boy, this episode did not hold back. If you thought the mysteries of Lumen couldn't get deeper, think again, because we've got more questions, more twists, and plenty to unpack. This is Belle for Rob's Reviews, and let's dive right in. Let's start with Mark, who is, as always, our emotional anchor in this story. Outie Mark wakes up at Devon's house after his Eni unexpectedly took over again. The poor guy is visibly shaken, and honestly, who wouldn't be? Imagine waking up and realizing your other self, someone you can't even control, has been out there living parts of your life. Devon, being the no-nonsense sister she is, tests Mark's memory with a simple question, "What's my name?" And Mark hilariously and awkwardly says Persephone. I couldn't help but laugh, but at the same time, it's a reminder of how disconnected the Enis are from their outies world. They literally don't even know the names of people closest to them. What really got me was when Mark sees the wedding photo of him and Gemma. He's holding it, staring at it like it's the only thing grounding him to reality. But when Devon brings up Gemma, Mark completely shuts it down, insisting she's dead. Let's pause here for a second. Why is Mark so adamant about this? Last season, it felt like he was starting to question things, especially about Gemma. Is it just grief making him cling to the idea that she's gone? Or is there something more to this? I want to know what you think. Is Mark in denial, or could he be hiding something as well? Maybe even from himself? Let me know in the comments because this moment really got me thinking. Now, let's jump over to Helly, specifically her outie. She's cleaning up the mess left by her Eni's mic drop moment at the Lumen Gala. And honestly, can we just take a second to appreciate how gutsy Eni Helly was? She literally called out her own father, Egan, in front of a room full of powerful investors. Naturally, his father is furious and calls her a fetid muppet. Like what? Who even talks like that? Moving forward, Helly tries to smooth things over by offering Miss Cobell a promotion to some elite advisory council, but Cobell isn't having it. She shuts it down hard, saying she wants to return to the severed floor. This is so on brand for Cobell, always scheming, always focused on whatever's happening at Lumen's core. Then there's the apology video. Helly blames her outburst on alcohol and medication, which isn't exactly believable. The PR spin here is so transparent, but the real drama happens when she stumbles across footage of her Eni and Mark's Eni. They're kissing, and you can see it hit her like a ton of bricks. Now, here's where the question starts piling up. What's Helly going to do with this information? Is she going to confront Mark's outie? Use it to manipulate him somehow? Or, and this is a big one, could this be the moment where Helly starts to realize that her Eni is a real person with emotions and connections? Now, let's wind back to Milchick, because this guy is always up to something. First, he fires Dylan and Irving's outies, which honestly feels like the classic Milchick, but then he tries a different approach with Mark. He shows up at Mark's house with a gift basket, and not just any basket, a ridiculous one with a pineapple in it. I mean, come on. Milchick offers Mark a raise, wellness checks, and even promises to investigate any Mark's claims. It's manipulative, sure, but what's wild is that it works. Mark agrees to stay, and then Milchick drops this bomb. He tells Mark that his Eni is happy, that he has moved on from his grief and even found love. Now, let's take a moment to unpack this. Is Milchick lying to keep Mark compliant, or is there some truth to it? Could Eni Mark really be finding some kind of joy in this controlled, oppressive environment of Lumen? This feels like a major turning point, and I'd love to hear your theories in this. And another thing is that there's a mysterious cold harbor. What is it? Department? A new experiment? Something darker? Lumen has already crossed so many ethical boundaries with the Severance program. Who's to say they're not planning something even more extreme? If you've got theories about Cold Harbor, drop them in the comments because I'm dying to know what you all think. Let's check in on Dylan and Irving's outies. Dylan is struggling to find a new job, and it turns out being severed comes with a pretty hefty stigma. Irving, meanwhile, is making cryptic phone calls and saying things like, "My Annie got the message." What does that even mean? Is he working with someone or is he trying to warn someone? And then there's the reveal that Outie Bert is watching Irving from a car. What's Bert's deal? Is he protecting Irving or is he working against him? Finally, we've got the ending where Mark confronts Cobell outside her apartment, demanding answers about Gemma. But Cobell, in true Cobell fashion, says nothing. She just drives off, shouted, leaving Mark and all of us with a million more questions. So, where does this leave us? Do you think Cobell knows the full truth about Gemma? Is she playing her own game or is she still working for Lumen? And what about Helly? Is she going to confront Mark about what she found or is she keeping it in her back pocket for now? And of course, what the heck is Cold Harbor? There's so much to unpack in this episode, but I want to hear from you. Drop your thoughts, theories, and questions to comments, and I'll be reading them all. Who knows? One of you might crack the code before the next episode drops. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay curious. See you in the next breakdown.